Alright everyone, we're going to go through my lamest to my best ever Valentine's Day boxes that I've ever done. And the first thing I need to say is, I didn't even know what a Valentine's Day box was. My wife talked about this when she's doing these when she was a kid. I didn't do it when I was a kid, and so this was all new to me. So it kind of took me some time to work my way into these and figure out kind of the cool ones and some of my better ones. Anyway, with that said, let's get started. We're just going to start with the lamest, and we'll work my way into the best. So first lamest one, I think, right here is this. This was a Minecraft head. So, and the best part about this is my son, this was from a costume from the previous year. He was a Minecraft zombie, and we took the head from that costume and just basically just reused it. I didn't really do anything. And so I feel kind of bad, but he was okay with it, so I was okay with it. But anyway, basically zero effort, and but it worked. The other one was a dragon. I didn't want to do crazy shapes, so I just used some shoe boxes and some pipe, and voila, it worked. Next lamest was this one was great. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago, we had this hot air balloon one that we did for my son, and essentially we just had this balloon that was kind of floating around already from some from like a birthday, and so we used it, and then we attached these little wires to it and the bottom of a box, cut out the bottom of a box. So you basically just put your Valentine's Day in the basket of the hot air balloon, and it worked. But pretty lame. But again, all these lame ones are kind of just because they're easy, so, but they work okay, and he was happy with it. The next lamest is is a Minecraft chest, and so it was essentially, again, a box, and I just cut around, except on one side, so it would have a hinge, and then I put like a little clasp on the front with just a few pieces of cardboard. So pretty simple, painted it up, and there you go. Getting into the mediocre Valentine's Day boxes now, and these ones were the toilet, a little Valentine's robot, and a Rubik's Cube. So all of them pretty easy. The robot was just boxes stacked on top of each other, painted. The Rubik's Cube was just a box with just we put some colored paper on it. And the toilet was a little more creative. Took the toilet's a box on the back, toilet seat was just some cardboard cut out in a circle, and a little bucket, and then we just painted it all. So it worked out pretty well. Kids liked it. Next year, these were okay. Did an iPod. We used some string for the earplugs, and then we had a little pig, boxy pig, right? So it was a pig with some boxes, had a hole in it. It worked out okay. Next one is interesting. So this was something we already had. It's a little marble run we've been working on, and really big. It's just some piece of scrap cardboard that we just kind of found and started attaching things to one day, and it kind of grew into this big marble run. And so we're like, okay, well, let's use it for a Valentine's Day box. So we painted it red and black, and then we attached a little box inside it where they could put their Valentines. I will say that one was enormous, and so it could barely get in the door at the school. So that one probably won't go that big again. This next year was really interesting. This is the year that my kids talked me into doing animals, and so they were non-boxy animals. So I used took a lot of time, and so I used a lot of cardboard strips to make like a framework, and then we started putting paper mache on top of it, and the paper mache would start getting the cardboard wet, and it would start like collapsing and falling apart. So I had to have all these like braces on it. It got crazy. So the giraffe and the sloth were a lot of work, and the turtle was mainly just a box that I just sort of folded up. But I'll never do that again. That was the worst. That was the worst. And the giraffe turned out pretty well. Sloth turned out a little creepy. So so even after we did it all, I was like, it was all right. So I never do that again. Never, ever. Vending machine is decent. Just like a little piece of plastic for the glass, put some candy inside, and a little hole. to put in some buttons. Really easy and kind of a fun little idea. This one was pretty fun. This goes back a few years, but it was a paintbrush, and so it's basically just a big pipe, a big tube, and then I put it into a box. And then I did some paper mache to create like the little paint hairs that come off of the paintbrush, and then we just painted it up, and it looked kind of fun. And you put the Valentine's Day in the tube, and it would go down into the box, and it was popular. Along with that one was a little DS. And the DS was just two boxes put together to put a hinge, and then we just put some pictures on it, and that was fun. This was a cool one. It was a dog, and you could actually move it, and the dog's mouth would open. This one was actually created with wood inside to create some strong framework, and then probably didn't have to do that, but I did. And then I had just a rope that was tied, two hinges on the other side, and then a little string that would pull it through when you pulled down the tail. I wanted the mouth to open up, and you put the Valentine's inside of it, but I couldn't get it to work. There wasn't enough room, so I ended up just creating a hole on top, and you just put the Valentine's in there. Last was this Plinko machine, and this one was fun. This was actually I used the outline of that was actually like a Valentine's note that I made before the previous year, and I was like, I'll just reuse this. So I put it back on it, and then I put like the little stand to keep it up, and then I started putting little toilet paper rolls throughout it. And it was funny because I ran out of toilet paper rolls about halfway through, and so I had to ask neighbors for their toilet paper rolls, and so they started giving me some, and I finally got a bunch and finished it up. And this one was really big as well. I remember bringing it into the classroom, and the teacher was like, and I was like, sorry. And we put it in the corner, and it took up all this room, but really popular. Kids loved it. I'd probably never go that big again as well. I'm kind of aiming for stuff that can maybe fit on the desk, but it was a fun one. It was really fun, and my kids loved it. So there we go. Tell me what you think. Tell me which ones you like. Tell me which ones you thought were lame, and I'd love to hear your comments and what you're thinking about doing this year.
So here's how you set my Valentine's box. You see these little triangles right here? You fold it till those triangles, you can't see them. Then you get your Valentine and push this and put it in. And then you get a plate of Plinko. Let's see how much points I earn. 50, 100 points. And that is how you set up my Valentine's box.